It looks like the PIF didn't dump a single share of Lucid. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. And today we're going to be doing a little bit more of a Lucid update. You guys seem to be enjoying these as of late. All of the focus was on yesterday when the PIF's lockup expiration stopped. It expired. They could sell their shares if they wanted to, and we go and we look at the volume for yesterday, and it's lower than the average 10-day volume. I mean, no, the PIF have not sold, baby, which is going to make us Lucid investors quite happy. But again, we shouldn't just take this immediately as an incredible sign that Lucid is safe. There are a lot more external factors that need to be considered. I still believe that a lot of different scenarios could play out over the coming 2 to 3 months for Lucid. I want to give a little bit of an update on that today, and maybe the PIF are going to cause a short squeeze of sorts. Really quickly, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, as it helps me out an awful lot. Now, one thing I want to point out, okay, is the short volume. What happened from the 18th to the 19th? Look, it went from about 8 million shares all the way up to 11 million. Now, that is still considerably lower than where it was even the first week of January, all the way at 19. All in all, it's not being as heavily shorted. So in the last video we made about Lucid Motors, we spoke about the short interest and how it's not actually anywhere near as heavily shorted as it has been in the past. And it's also just not particularly heavily shorted in general, especially in the current market. I have the stock market map up here. I mean, look at the red that's happening everywhere. You know, when you're seeing the likes of Apple have 2% red days, Qualcomm with a 3.5% red day, even the banks are down 1.5–2% on the day. I mean, yeah, the market is absolutely crazy. So a lot of growth is still getting beat up, despite an awful lot of it being down anywhere from 30 to 60%. It's still getting destroyed. And I would expect a company like Lucid to potentially be doing a little bit worse right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm surprised it didn't make a little bit more of a push down towards that 35. I thought that any excuse would have pushed it down. And now I think the fact that we saw that the PIF did not sell any of their Lucid shares, which we should have assumed. I think this was the more likely scenario to play out. These are long-term investors. They've been viewed as that way since day one in Lucid. These guys are literal Lucid pioneers. If it wasn't for them, Lucid would not be where they are today. And I think that they believe they can make a lot more money in the years to come. But one other thing to point out, in the short term, there still is potential for a sell-off. One argument that could be brought up, okay, is that the PIF sees the short interest going up potentially. They expect and anticipate people to short Lucid in case the PIF causes, you know, a dump of sorts. In case they do decide to sell, let's say 100 million shares and just pretty much destroy a lot of the market, okay? And then all of the shorts will go, a lot of stop losses would trigger, it would create this big move. We're speaking maybe 10, 15, 20% on the day. They don't want to do that. If they do want to sell, they want to sell for as high a price as possible, even if it is going to be in the short term. So they could, you know, want to see that little bit of a squeeze happen first. Now, me personally, I don't think the PIF is playing games with Lucid. I think they're going to be holding every single one of their shares. As we spoke about in the last video, we could potentially even see them buy some more shares going forwards. You know, that could be another big catalyst. In pretty much a month's time, the 15th of February is when we will be able to see their next 13F, and we'll be able to see if they have picked up any more Lucid, which is just 6 days before Lucid's earnings. So there's a couple of big catalysts coming now. And if Lucid can hold above this range, above, let's say somewhere between 38 to 39, right now sitting nearly at $41 a share, I think we could see some buying pressure, which is surprising for me to say. Obviously, I'm a Lucid bull, but given the market conditions, given the way growth is looking in general, given the fact we nearly had a death cross form here, I'm okay with what I'm seeing right now. But still, trade very cautiously with Lucid, my friends. Though I think now is a particularly good time to trade Lucid, either in the upward direction or short term. Honestly, no. Things are a little bit crazy. If we just look at the daily chart, I mean, yes, there's been big moves. There's not been a lot to indicate good exits and good entries. There really, really hasn't been. I mean, yesterday, look, there was a 9% move. There was close to, I believe it was a 7 or 8% pullback at the end of that. It's up again another good few percent in the pre-market. But it's not trading particularly normally. It's not as easy to predict what Lucid is going to do as it would be a company such as, you know, Apple, Microsoft, the likes of these ones who make a lot more sense at times. Lucid doesn't. Right now, I think there's too many variables up until the middle of next month. I personally would not be looking to trade this in the short term. I think I've made my stance quite clear as well that from a long-term point of view, I think we're going to get better entry points. I really do. All it takes is one bad day and Lucid goes down big. We've seen it many times in the past, so just do be aware of that. But now that all of these PIF shares are freed up, they're not locked up anymore. They can be sold, they can be bought. They're going to become part of the flow. Do I think Lucid's going to calm down a bit? Do I think we're not going to see as many of these absolutely insane moves that we have become so used to? I mean, here over the span of a couple of days, literally a 36% move. I think we're still going to see these things just as regularly as we have. You know, I think every month or two, maybe with Lucid, we're still going to see a very considerable move. I'm just hoping that we get to see more of them in the upwards direction than in the downward. So that's what I think could happen next with the PIF. That's what I think the Saudis' plan is. And again, all you have to do is look at the volume from yesterday on Lucid. Where were we? I had it up somewhere. But anyway, we showed you the volume was less than the 10-day average, literally. We know that they didn't unload any shares. I personally think shorts are going to be scared right now, which could create some buying pressure for us. With that being said, when we look at the broader stock market, we look at some of these most active ones. Look, Ford is right up there. Ford's gone down. AMD's down. Then we see American Airlines up, Tesla up, Palantir is up, Microsoft is up, partially due to Activision, I would imagine. We see a lot of weird things happening still, to put it lightly. Let's put it that way. PaySafe up 4.2%, but they have been doing horrifically. I got a lot of flack when I stopped buying a lot of things maybe, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. But I mean, the dip keeps on dipping, you know, in a lot of the market and a lot of growth and a lot of things I would be interested in. The dip has kept happening. I'm going to be making a video on this very soon, but I'm ready to buy things again. I'm going to be trimming off a few of the positions I'm risk-free in, where the companies just haven't gone the way we expected them to. I'm going to take those profits, reinvest them back into these companies that I love at these prices. I mean, look at our Palantirs, look at our Corsairs. I mean, there's so many really good companies on discounts out there. There's certain growth dividend plays out there as well, where the ratios make so much sense. I mean, it feels like we've gone back in time to the March crash. It feels like there's a lot of really good short and long-term money to be made, as long as we don't kind of lose track of what is happening in the world, as long as we don't go all in too quickly. And I think right now is the time where, you know, you're really going to need to have your convictions over the next while, especially when we look at Lucid Motors, okay? A company like this, high growth, but they have so much to prove, okay? It could go incredibly, but look at the people who had to hold through Tesla, like, you know, thousands of percent ago. They would have had to go through so much. Their conviction levels were that high. Now, again, I'm not trying to compare Lucid to Tesla or say that they are the next Tesla or anything along those lines. I'm just saying you are going to need your conviction going forwards. And that's what's going to happen with me and Lucid, definitely, baby. Lucid ain't going anywhere from me long term. Lucid, this is all going to be a little blimp one day. Maybe not in a year, maybe not 2 years, 3 years. Give us 5 years. Lucid's going to be up here, baby. But I just wanted to make this video. I got a few messages on Instagram from people asking me, you know, did the Saudis sell? They couldn't tell. A lot of people were expecting a big sell-off. But no, simply put, you look at that volume, they did not sell. It really is that straightforward. Short volume hasn't gone absolutely crazy by any means. And it looks like there's going to be a little bit of buying pressure. Technicals still aren't telling us very much. I mean, RSI is right down the middle. Our VWAP, no, not the VWAP, our moving averages aren't telling us too much. It still does look like we're in a downward trend in general, although we are making, potentially, we could say, higher lows. We're going to stagnate more than likely looking at this chart for a few days at least. I think that it will again be mid-February where we get the next big move, one direction or the other. But anyway, guys, if you watched this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I truly do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. I love Lucid Motors. I love speaking about them. I love the Lucid community. I think we got a lot of people who do good DD into this company. Let's get it, baby. Anyway, my friends, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.